For the first time in 2023, we are taking a look at your videos. Yesterday it was channels. We did a whole 2-hour live stream where we looked at people's thumbnails and titles and found ways to hopefully get people to click into the video. Today is all about once they do click into the video. What happens then? What happens when people are clicking off of your video too quickly? How do you get them to watch all the way to the end? That is what today's tips, tricks, and strategies are all about. So, be sure to submit your channel using one of the 2 forms below. They'll be picked at random a little bit later on in today's live stream. If you're watching this after it was a live stream, sit back, relax, get your notepad out, and get ready to take some notes on all the different channels we're going to see today. There's bound to be all kinds of different things you can learn from. Let's welcome in Viper. How's it going?
Hey, Dan. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good.
And let's welcome in Jeff. How's it going?
Hashtag to salute to everybody in the chat, and Dan and Viper. What's up? What's going on, guys?
We're doing the thing. It's our first official week of the new year, and we are hitting people with all the free advice that we can think of.
So, Dan, before we get started, I want to hit them with some more free advice real quick before we start.
Hit them.
So I think me and Dan both put out on the YouTube. I think he put it on the community tab, and I put out on socials. We were asking you guys what your YouTube resolution is for 2023. And a lot of you all mentioned sub counts and different things like that. And I just want to tell you all real quick that you really shouldn't set goals or resolutions based on a number. And the reason why I say that is because you can't control that. You don't control how many people subscribe to your channel. You don't control how many views you get. So you should make goals that you actually have under control, like things that you can control, like how many times you upload a week, or how many videos you make a month, things that you actually have control over, because you're much more likely to hit the things that you can control instead of the things that you can't control. So just think about that as you're going through 2023, and understand that if you don't hit a particular sub count at a particular time where you want to hit it, it's not your fault. It just works differently for everybody. So don't sell yourself on that. Worry about things that you can control.
Yeah, like making a resolution to learning a new skill, learn how to use Photoshop or GIMP or Photopea, or how to be a better editor, stuff like that. Things that are achievable. You can make a list of them even. So like, that's what I've done. I made a list of things that are not technically New Year resolutions, but things that I want to achieve this year, things that I want to make sure I get under my belt, skills I want to learn to make me a better creator and a better business owner.
I'm going to get walls on my desk.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a skill. I'm going to learn how to build them, and they're going to be cat prevention walls, and they're going to keep cats off of my desk.
We're going to see the cat just come in like this from the top of the screen. Boom.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Spider cat its way in here.
That's right.
So the way this is going to work, as I mentioned, there are 2 forms down below. We have a non-gaming form, and we have a gaming form, which I want to put at the very beginning of the list here. So be sure to submit to the correct form. These forms are cleared after every live stream. So if you submitted last week and you have not resubmitted, you will need to submit again. And we'll be randomly selecting these channels. But first, we have a few other pre-selected channels we want to go through to make sure we hit a lot of different sides of video reviews today. And the first one was actually the first person who managed to submit on the form when it went live. It's Daniel Game Studio. And this was actually the non-gaming form, but they are a game developer, which is a bit different. So we're going to be looking at a couple of their videos and seeing if we can give them any suggestions, thoughts, tips, things of that nature. And just so everybody knows, we appreciate your super chats, things like that. I saw one just come in. Just as a quick mention, super chats don't equal video reviews. We don't sell the video reviews. You just have to get picked. But happy to answer any questions that come in through super chats. All right, so let's take a look at the latest video from Daniel Game Studios and see what they're doing. It's called How to Use Blueprint Interfaces UE, which I think is Unreal Engine 5 Tutorial Series 6.
I have found the light of the blueprint interface, and soon you will too. Never will you have to use those cursed castings ever again. This will make your old sloppy code not only 100 times more readable, but also significantly faster on contemporary hardware. You might be asking, what is this blueprint interface that you're raving about? Well, a blueprint interface is nothing more than a collection of definitions that your blueprints can use. They lack any definition other than the inputs and outputs.
So that's about the first 30 seconds. Viper, why don't we start with you?
Okay, this is going to be kind of like niche. Okay, why am I hearing myself again?
Oh, is it doing it again?
Yep.
Apologies. I will reshare the screen. This happens, I think, every other live stream.
Okay. So what I was saying is that I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the people that are looking for this particular type of content know what all of that technical stuff that you just went through in 20 seconds. They know what that means already. So you don't need to explain all that in the first 20 seconds because the people that are watching this content, they know what that is. So I feel like you kind of wasted time there. The other thing that I'll say is that you were looking at the same screen with no changes for 26 seconds. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but our attention spans are very, very short. And when you are having a static screen on there for 26 seconds, chances are right around the 8 to 10 second mark, people are going to click off to another video because you're not doing enough to keep their attention. You're not doing enough to engage them. So you're going to have to find a way to make your content a little bit more engaging, maybe some more edits, cutaways, or B-roll, or something different from a static screen that you got going on for like 20 seconds. So those are just a couple of things that I noticed in the first 30 seconds of the video.
Jeff, what about you?
There we go. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, I agree with Viper on that. And one thing I would do would be, now, mind you, because of what we're talking about here, we're doing tutorials, right? So we do have to be careful with that because it is a specific type of thing. And it is going to teach you something. But there are still ways to add in personality and add in editing that'll make it engaging to keep people there, that'll improve your own audience retention. So Viper's making an excellent point. What I would do would be looking at other creators in not just in this particular niche for this particular software, but look at other software tutorials in different spaces to see how are they engaging with the audience to keep them there. How are they hooking people to get them to stay? And I think that's going to be a solid way to improve audience retention overall for someone who's looking to get through the tutorial. Because at the end of the day, you want people to stick around to learn what you're trying to teach them if you're a specialist, right? So a hook is still going to be super, super important. We're not talking about clickbait or anything like that, but just confirming the click, at the very least, and making sure that they know that they're going to get the information that you are here to give them.
That's kind of the direction I was going to go with my comments. So I noticed they didn't use an intro, welcome back to Daniel Game Studio, any of that stuff. It was literally diving right in, which is what we suggest people do. Just get right into the content. But what was missing was that hook that you mentioned. And I think there's two things they could have done to help both with the video's reach and adding a hook. And the only thing you needed to do was ask yourself this: who is the video for? And what is the problem that the video solves? Because that's what I'm missing here. And I'm a layman. I don't use Unity 5. I have no idea. It's not Unity. It's Unreal Engine. See, I'm completely clueless. So what could have been done to make this video more approachable for someone who does know a little bit about what they're doing, but is trying to learn something new? I think it needed something to the effect of, hey, when you're making gaming videos, do you find code completely confusing? Gaming videos. When you're making games, don't you find code completely ridiculous and outdated? What if you could code a game without actually typing anything in? Introducing blueprint interfaces. I'm going to teach you all about them. Now, I don't know if that's what they do. I don't know if they help you code the game. It seems like that's what they do, but I don't know. But just for an example, that solves a very real problem. Like, I want to make a video game, but I don't know how to program anything. So that's now the direction of your video. That now changes the title. Make a game in Unreal Engine 5 without using code. And you can have in the description and the tags, and obviously in the video itself, you're going to be talking about blueprint interfaces. I still think as long as you have a chapter called blueprint interfaces and all those other things going on, you can still get picked up in search, even if it's not in your title. So that's what I would have done. I would have thought of a different title and a different hook, or a hook in general. And then I think this video would have reached a lot more people. And then I saw someone in chat say that it's very small, which is fair. There's nothing happening on the right side of the screen. Tons of room for you to crop in on what you're talking about so we can read this text, because even on my big monitor here, it's really hard to read. If I go into theater mode, it doesn't make it much better. I mean, we're at 720p, so I guess I could crank it to 1080. And yeah, the lines are a little sharper, but it's still too small.
I have a good example for you if you want to check it out, and somebody that might be able to, at least to serve as an example for this user.
Sure.
One of our Mac students, his channel is named Code with Stu. And STU. That's him right at the top. So if you go into his latest video, the Net 7 Changes Everything, he does a really quick intro, but watch how he shows the stuff that he's talking about.
Look at that.
You see how he's zoomed in on it so you can see what's going on? It's not just a static screen for 30 seconds. And he gets into this fairly quickly. Like, he doesn't dawdle or waste time. So that's one of the things where I think, even though he's doing something different, it showcases an example of what this channel can do to keep things moving, to make it more dynamic and showcase exactly what he wants to show. You don't just have to do a full share screen. You can make this more dynamic and entertaining, but also educational.
Mm-hmm. vidIQ Max is our group coaching program we have here at vidIQ. And if you want to learn more, link is down below. But Code with Stu, thank you for being in vidIQ Max. Code with Stu is going to be one of many YouTubers in that program who is at a stage in their YouTube journey, and they're learning from our coaches and they're learning from other creators like them. And, it's awesome to see them doing well.
Yeah, he's doing excellent.
So Daniel Game Studios, that would be, I think, our biggest piece of advice to you is just continue thinking about the viewer when you're making this content. It's hard to see. I don't know if the problem is necessarily addressed because the title you've chosen is very functional. It's searchable, but I think even more could have been done for a really strong presentation here. So we've given you a lot to think about in not a very long amount of time here.
Yeah, for sure, man. He's got a lot to work on, but it's good to see. Even at how many videos do they have out now? Because we're talking 41 subscribers, but it looks like it's not.
As of 10 months ago, they started, and it looks like they've just got,
steady. They've got a steady flow. Nothing too crazy, but looks like they're maybe at what? Maybe. Well, it looks like they really picked up in the last month, right?
Yeah, about 16 videos.
Good. Okay. Well, it seems like they're getting steady. Maybe they found a workflow that's working for them. So hopefully we don't pile too much on them, but I like the fact that they're getting consistent, because that's one of the biggest things that you have to get comfortable with. Viper tell you all about it. You got to get in there and do it.
Yeah. And a couple things I'm just noticing about the titles of some of these other videos: landscape modification, landscape creation. I know what that means. I would ask you to make sure you're doing proper title research, because I feel like when I've seen videos like this, they don't call it landscape modification. They call it like terrain editing or terrain generation or map making. Like, try to make sure you're using the terms. If you're going to put keywords in your title, you're trying to rank and search, try to make sure you're using terms that everyone would be searching for. And maybe you did that research. I don't know. I'm an idiot, but just wanted to point that out, because I've seen enough of these videos to see landscape modification and go, okay, that's clear, but what is that the way people would search for it?
Yeah.
So, all right. So best of luck there to Daniel Game Studios. And now we will look at the first gaming channel that managed to submit on our forums. They don't have a ton of videos. They're making some shorts. They seem to have a lot more shorts. And they were just asking us for some editing tips, some general editing tips, I believe. Want some advice on my editing style, or how should I make my shorts to redirect people to my long form videos? So they did say they are focused on long form videos. We'll look at one of those, and then we can talk a little bit about your shorts as well.
Hey, how are you? Oh, it's you again. What do you want? Just passing by. Okay then, bye. Relax, I just wanted to see how you're handling. Oh, I'm alright. Nice. Oh yeah, I have a question for you. Alright, let's see it. How you'll be able to get all the items? Well, I already told you. We'll still touch, or if I find or craft them. True, but what about iron or diamond ores? What about them? How are you gonna get them? Bro, I just told you before. I just put silk touch on my tools and get...
We're 30 seconds in. Jeff, we want to start with you this time.
No, I just like, bro, I just told you. I totally got it. All right. So yeah, I like the fact that he's just kind of doing this back and forth. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. But yeah, just, I like the back and forth and stuff. I'm just not sure where this is going, if it's going to turn into a tutorial or what exactly is happening. But if it's just entertainment, like Minecraft entertainment for entertainment's sake, then so be it. Maybe it's a challenge or something.
Yeah. It felt a little long to me. Because like you said, I think that was the perfect way to put it. I don't know where it's going, but I like that it's creative. It's definitely something. Viper, what were you thinking?
So I kind of feel like Jeff here. I told you guys on Twitter the other day, when you think about uploading a video, you got to ask yourself, why would someone watch this video? If you can answer that question easily, then by all means hit upload or hit publish. But if you can't answer that question or you're having trouble with it, you need to reevaluate and possibly make some changes to the video. And in this particular video, I just don't know why me, the viewer, what do I get out of it? Like, what is the purpose of the video to me, the viewer? I mean, like Dan said, if it's just Minecraft entertainment, then okay, that's fine. But to people that aren't familiar with Minecraft and different things like that, what is this video going to do for them? So I guess my biggest question is, what is the purpose of this video?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of the click not really paying off, right? Because we look to the right, thanks to one of our vidIQ tools there, we can see what the thumbnail is on this video without clicking off it, which I love. And it's called "This Mob Saved My Life in Minecraft Hardcore." And then the thumbnail is pointing to a silhouette of a popular Minecraft mob. I know exactly what that is as someone who's played the game. And they're suggesting that this mob might be useful. So I think title and thumbnail wise, you did a really good job of making a very, very clear, clickable title and thumbnail. But we got into the video and the click didn't really pay off because it's a conversation between two people and there's no suggestion that someone's life is in peril. There's no suggestion that this mob is going to be in the video at any point. We haven't gotten anything to, verify that the video we clicked on is going to pay off in the way we expected it to when we saw the title and the thumbnail. And I think you can still do something like this at the beginning, but instead of like this back and forth, it's gone on for 30 seconds now, and we don't really know what they're even talking about. I was going to mention that too. I feel like you kind of made the assumption that I saw the last video because the guy's saying like, "Oh, I told you I'm going to use Silk Touch." Like, but the first time we heard them say that, I had never heard them say they were going to use Silk Touch to, protect their items or get more items or whatever it was. So it made me think, oh, maybe that was in the previous episode, but what about the new viewer like me who hadn't seen the previous episode? I was missing some context there. But more importantly, I was expecting a video about this mob. So I was kind of expecting your cold open to be you in trouble. And then maybe in the distance, you see the wandering trader and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe they have what I need. And then you can like cut to the beginning of your video where you're doing whatever opening. So make people feel comfortable in that they clicked on your video and they know it's going to be about the thing that you told them it was going to be about, even if it's coming a little bit later. So again, a few things there we've given them. And their question to us was, how do they get people from their shorts to their long form videos? Like, what's the best way to use these as like a promotional tool? And I'll just real quick say, and if you guys want to jump in, you can. The one thing I want you to make sure you don't put in your head is the idea of shorts as a promotional tool. They hopefully will promote your channel in the sense that people are going to see your shorts, enjoy them, and then look for your long form videos, and YouTube will recommend those. But what you don't want to do is make a short with something in it that says, watch the full video on my channel. Because you have to respect the fact that when someone clicks this button and they just want to hang out on the short shelf,
Here's the thing,
they're not necessarily interested in going to watch long form videos. They clicked on shorts intentionally. They clicked on this to be entertained, to learn something new, and they want quick hits. These videos are all under a minute long, and that is very, very, very important. When you tell them, hey, the full video's on my channel, they're like, cool. Swipe. They're still swiping. They're still in the shorts mode. That's where they want to be on YouTube right now. So keep that in mind. Hopefully, the next time they're on YouTube and they come to desktop or mobile, YouTube is now recommending your long form videos because they watched a couple of your shorts and they enjoyed them. That's the idea. That's how you promote your long form through your shorts. Make good shorts. Make shorts that are similar to what you're doing in long form. Make them good, make them fun, make them, shareable. When I say shareable, I mean people willing to share them with their friends and family because they were just so funny. And then when YouTube's like, hey, you like this guy's shorts, what about his long form videos? They're likely to give them a try. But that's your best chance.
Yeah, totally agree, man. So they've been, we've heard from YouTube employees and engineers and stuff how YouTube is steadily building bridges in between shorts and long form content. So yeah, Dan hit the nail on the head, man. I completely agree.
So there you go. That was our second channel of the year that we're doing video reviews. And yeah, congrats on what seems to be a really clean, focused Minecraft channel, started a month ago, getting hundreds of views already. Like, excellent. I think you're killing it. And I think it's only a matter of time for you. Just keep working to make those little incremental improvements, and hopefully we helped you along the way. All right. We'll take a look at the next channel. Let me close out these tabs here, and we will go to this one, who does work and game tech reviews. Now, I picked this one because it was very interesting what their question was. They review tech and its ability to do both game and entertainment and work and productivity. The closest big niche they feel is streaming. Any other similar niches that they're missing? So it's a tech channel, but they're specifically focusing on tech that people who are playing games would like and people who are like studying would like. So that's them trying to make sure their channel is focused. And both of you having experience with tech, I thought this would be a good one to talk about. So we'll look at the latest video.
The CLAAAAAW are an extremely versatile and luxurious active noise cancelling headphone. Despite how great they are, the CLAAAAAW are held back by one thing: Bluetooth. To clarify, I'm not saying that Bluetooth doesn't sound good enough. But before I get into my issues with Bluetooth, what are you actually getting with the CLAAAAAW? There's a really nice carrying case that is almost immediately useless. I wear a cap and just do this. And all the case does is take up as much space as the actual headphones without the headphones actually being in your bag. And included inside are your generic branded USB and...
So that's just over 30 seconds. Viper, thoughts?
Maybe it was just me, but I feel like this creator was talking a little bit too fast, so they were a little bit difficult to understand. And I've had issues talking too fast myself, so I can relate. So I understand that sometimes it's hard to catch yourself when you are overly excited or you got the adrenaline of creating the video running through you and you just don't know how fast you're talking. So I would encourage this creator to maybe slow down a little bit or maybe practice a little bit delivering the content so you can talk at a more or recognizable or incomprehensible rate to viewers. So that's something. Other than that, the intro as well. I like the fact that he explained what was going on. He delivered on the hook immediately, pretty much. Got some nice B-roll in there too. And yeah. My only thing is like I'm just like when he asked the question about what he told you, Dan, what he was doing, what the content was about, like gaming and tech. My only question is, what does these headphones have to do with gaming and tech? Kind of.
I think they meant tech products that people who play games would buy. Like, so you might use these headphones for gaming. Not that that's been said in the video, but I think that's what they view their channel as. Like, okay, this is my tech niche.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
That's
all. Yeah. But yeah, I think my main critique is I think he was talking a little too fast, but that's pretty much all I got.
Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, I actually had watched this video because I have a review on the same headphones.
Oh,
yeah. So I had actually watched this video, which is just funny how that all kind of worked out on this end. So, but I agree. I think more than anything, and mind you, it could just be, I don't know how many videos they have, but they're at about 126 subscribers. I agree with Viper that practice, I think, is going to help them find their voice. Because the same happened for both of us. You know, when we both go back and look at 2017, 2018, and what we sounded like then to what we sound like now, there is a huge difference. You know, I'm sure the same journey happened for Dan. You know, the way you sounded when you first start out, you don't sound like that anymore because it takes time to...
No, I was always...
You're always at 100%.
Don't go to my old vidIQ videos. Just take my word for it.
That's right. Yeah, but that's kind of thing. I think that's going to take them some time to develop their voice more than anything else. I do like the production quality. I think it looks good. I think throwing in the B-roll in there definitely makes sense. I like the fact that he did a hook and got into the content. I think it was around 15 seconds when he started talking about the case. Excellent. I like the fact that he didn't waste my time as a viewer. So far, I am liking what I'm seeing. I think if anything, we should, because I think they've got the intro down. Are we all agreed the intro is good, except for the fact that maybe he just needs to slow down, enunciate a little bit better, and just kind of chill his pace out. If anything, we should look at the outro and see if they've got what kind of video exit strategy they're working with.
I agree. And the only thing I would add is I don't know if this is necessarily needed, although there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It wasn't very long.
No.
Just the branded kind of intro. I don't know. Yeah. It's just extra time in the intro that may not need to be there. But
basically,
kind of a personal preference.
No, I agree. I'm the same way. I don't think it's necessary. It's cool and all, but it is a waste of time. I would look at when it comes to that, I would obviously look at their own retention graphs and see if it's causing any sort of a dip, because we know what we saw with the vidIQ channel. Regardless of how tiny Rob made it, there was a huge dip. So that's something that they would have to take a look at for themselves. But yeah, let's check out this outro, see what he's got.
Allowing you to have some of the best features of both an open and closed back headphone. And the 30+ hour battery life is why the focal Betis are the most versatile and luxurious wireless headphones I've had so far, despite the issues I've had with Bluetooth. One thing it doesn't really do well is for editing and monitoring headphones, but if you're looking for something that's less cost prohibitive, check out these headphones, hit the like button if this helped you make an informed purchasing decision, subscribe for more tech reviews with productivity and gaming in mind, and have a nice one. I did.
Okay. Outro cool. I'll just give you all this a real quick tip. When you are sending them to another video, you probably want to physically point at the video, because the viewer might not understand what you're talking about. They might not even know what that in-screen thing is. They might just think it's something that popped up. So you have to like physically like guide them to the next video so they know that, oh, there's an actual video that I can click on and watch. So that's what I would say about that.
I agree. But this felt like, even though we clicked in late, it felt like we clicked into a long-winded outro.
Yeah.
Like at some point he started doing this wrap up.
Yeah.
Right. And we, now mind you, we skipped past that. We were just already in it. But based on what he was saying, it felt like a wrap up. If I would have heard any sort of exit words before that, I would have dipped. Yeah. You know what I mean? If it would have said something like in conclusion or to wrap this up, I'm out. I'm not even going to make it to your outro or your end screen. So that's something that I would like them to keep in mind when if they're writing a script. Get rid of those outros. Just can it. As soon as you're done saying what you're going to say, don't do a wrap up. Don't do an in conclusion. Don't do a whole, like all these things. No, don't do any of that. Get rid of that and just say, hey, if you're also into other types of headphones or whatever video you want to point them at. So this comes into when you're writing your script or when you're planning your video before you turn on the camera, have another one of your own videos in mind that you can point them to, and you can verbally say it during your end screen. You can point at it. You can say, hey, listen, if you like these headphones and you want to check out another headphone review that I like, check out this video right here, something. But those are the kinds of things that you want to have in mind and put into your script before you turn on your camera.
I'll say this, record it if it feels more comfortable for you, but then in editing, chop it, and then try it. Don't just chop it, chop it out, move it aside on the timeline and put the two pieces together and see if it sounds as weird as you think it's going to sound without you kind of starting to do your wrap up. Because I promise you that even if it's just a jump cut, it's going to be so much cleaner than you think it's going to be. This was something that I did. I still did those wrap ups. I still gave people those buzzwords that made it sound like the video was ending. And then when I realized it in editing, I'm like, what if I just got rid of that? And it sounded great. It just worked. So let's see. I wanted to go back and see if we can hear them saying that.
Allowing for consistent sound regardless of what connection type you use. While connected in DAC mode, there is increased clarity, separation, and sound state.
So still in the content here.
Mm-hmm.
More spaciousness in the sound, making the Betis feel less compressed. That consistency of how the headphones sound wired or wireless, the ability to keep a pleasant listening experience while in transparency mode, allowing you to have some of the best features of both an open and closed back headphone. And the 30+ hour battery life is why the focal Betis are the most versatile and luxurious wireless headphones I've had so far, despite the issues I've had with Bluetooth. One thing it doesn't really do well is...
I'd say this is still, we're still getting some opinions.
I think so, yeah. So I could have been wrong. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sensing it's over, but it's not like super like straight to like, okay, well,
right.
Bye.
Yeah.
For editing and monitoring headphones. But if you're looking for something that's less cost prohibitive, check out these headphones. Hit the like.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you did a good job there.
Austin Evans, I blame you for the whole new captive weight thing, my dude. Everybody with this new captive weight when they're making these videos, Austin Evans, I blame you. Ugh. God, I'm tired of it. Get it.
I have those headphones too. That's hilarious.
Man.
I'm going to have to check out this guy's channel.
This new captive weight stuff got to go. It has to go.
So, thank you for submitting your channel. Best of luck to you. I think, did we answer the niche question?
What was the question one more time? So let's make sure we address it.
They wanted to know if there's any similar niches they were missing. They're kind of the gaming and productivity space right now. Is there anything else they're missing?
No, because it seems like they're covering the peripherals, which is essentially what there's a few channels that are doing stuff like this. Namely, my buddy Brian Phillips, also known as Bad Seed Tech, which is audio products, keyboards, mice, basically stuff that's on your desk, whether you're doing productivity for work, editing, whatever that might be. So there's things that those people, those three kind of different people will also have in common, because they all use keyboards, they all use mice, they all use stuff on your desk, they all use headphones or in-ear monitors. So it's things that you can kind of delve into on that channel and still attract a similar enough audience. So I don't have an issue with what they're doing because it is a proven formula that works. From what we've seen. I mean, it's not even just Brian. There's, Brandon Taylor. There's a lot of different channels who have done excellent work around the peripherals space. Not necessarily PC tech, not necessarily just audio, but peripherals in general. So I don't see an issue with this. I think they're doing a good job. And I have actually high hopes for this channel because overall, for somebody at 100 subs to be so dialed in, I have high expectations.
Yeah, this channel, we've seen it before. I recognize these older thumbnails here where we talked about the two-tone matte that they use.
Oh yeah, I think we'd give them a channel on it before.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they've maybe taken some of that advice on. Like, this is a cleaner background here. I don't know why the choice of putting like a net in front of the lens on this thumbnail, kind of interesting. But again, like, I would just keep working on thumbnails too, because you have a black mouse, a white mouse, and a black mouse, but on a white background, like just as white as the mouse itself. I would have made that like a light gray, even if you went into Photoshop and changed it somehow, because I almost didn't see the mouse in the middle. It just kind of blended in that much. So again, little tweaks, nothing too serious though.
Yep.
All right. Our next channel that we pre-selected was Fretboard Diaries. Overall, they would just like to know how to improve the quality of videos, get some better audience retention, and that is what we're here to do. So they are just kind of a guitar channel. I think they're helping you find some deals, maybe learning. They'll teach you how to play some chords, things like that. I wanted to check out. Let's see, that one's 4 hours ago. Yeah, let's check this one out.
What's going on, YouTube? In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Hercules multi-guitar rack for up to 5 guitars. I'm hoping to clean up this mess of guitars behind me and have it go from this to this. We'll take a look to see if it's worth the extra money to go with the Hercules brand and find out if this is the guitar rack for you. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick unboxing here and give you an idea of what you can expect. As you can see, it pretty much comes fully assembled. All you've really got to do is take the packaging off. From there, simply fold open and turn the...
That's the first 30 seconds.
I'm good with it. What about you, Vipe?
I am so confused. And I'm so confused because the video only has 5 views. And if it's anything like the intro, it should have a hell of a lot more than, 11 views. If the rest of the video is anything like the intro, it should have a hell of a lot more than 11 views. So what's really going on here? Because that was pretty damn solid to me.
They did just upload it.
Yeah, that's fair. 5 hours ago. But still, though, and I agree with Viper. It could be a couple of things in play here. One, the title is very SEO.
Yes.
And so it's not giving me a reason to click. Because the thumbnail itself is not bad. I probably would have taken it from a different angle, if anything. Like, I would have kind of gotten like a 3/4 angle on it so you can kind of see the guitars sort of behind each other. But that's just me. That's just what I'm thinking here. But the title just kind of doesn't do anything for me. It's very matter of fact, but I don't think it's doing him any favors. Like, I would have put an opinion in there instead of quick review. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, I would have put something in there. Like, how do you feel about it? How did this thing make you feel? Is it the best one you've ever had or whatever? But just give me something that's going to make me want to click. And I think that title is just not really doing them any favors. But that's just a thought.
No, I think you might be on something there.
Yeah, is the Hercules 5 guitar stand worth it? Just that question.
Yeah.
It's clear that it's a review. It doesn't. Now, I think this model number is needed, just not in the title. I think it could go in the description. I think it could be a chapter. You want it in there somewhere. So if people are searching for this specifically, the video will come up still. But I think it kind of burned your title a little bit.
Yeah, it's just we're talking about the packaging of the video here because the intro to me was solid. The guy's voice sounds great. It sounds like somebody who's very comfortable with what they're doing. So I didn't have any issues. They got into actually the unboxing really quickly. So they told me what we're going to do. They confirmed the click, and then we got straight into getting into the unboxing. I was totally cool with that. Like, I was on board. At no point did I want to check out. The only issue would have been getting people in the door, and that's where your thumbnail and title might be holding you back. So that's something that I would definitely be playing with. Did Hercules make the best, guitar stand ever? Whatever. But humanize that title. think less on SEO, because you can still include the full Hercules GS 525B 5 guitar set. You can put all that in your description. You can put all that in your tags. You can say it in the video. But you don't have to have that whole title, that thing in your title. You can have just Hercules GS, the part number, if you want to have just that in the title, but humanize it a bit. Make me want to click on it as a human being.
Yeah. It was really cool just seeing all the different things they're doing on this channel as a whole, because obviously the production quality is really, really good. They're playing around with thumbnails and stuff. So they're kind of bouncing between doing lessons, but then like reviewing products as well. And I think all of this is very on brand. I think if you play guitar and you want to learn how to play guitar, coming to the same channel for both of these things, like helpful guitar products and lessons, I think it's great. I think this is a really solid strategy they have, and I think they should keep it up. This is awesome. But yeah, not much other critique there I have.
Yeah, the intro, I think the intro was solid. The edits were clean.
Like multiple shots too of the unboxing.
Right.
And the unboxing was such a small part of it. It's just like a quick, like I'm going to do a quick unboxing, and like we got that's 2 angles I saw. Then we have a third top down angle. This is really, really strong. They're obviously putting a lot of time into this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's take a look and see how they're doing for the outro.
All right.
Assembly literally opens up and folds open. It's simple, it's stable, it looks great, and it gets the job done. All right, if you like guitar-related content...
You see that angle that he just did on that B-roll shot? That was the thumbnail.
That, like this, somewhere
like that right there. You see what I'm saying? But so you'd have to pull out,
yeah,
right? But that angle right there, I mean, that would have been how I would have done it. Would have been boom, just like that, but zoomed out so you can see the entire guitar.
Right.
But that would have been the angle that I would have took instead of head on.
About 10 seconds left in the video, and we did start to get those words that let us know the video is ending.
Yep.
Viper picked up on that. I saw his face.
It's only 10 seconds, but in a 4-minute video, that represents a little bit of time for your percentage. We want people to get to the very, very end if possible. We are min-maxers here. We just want people to get to the very end.
We keep telling y'all about warning people that your video is about to end. Y'all don't listen, man. But I'm telling you, you got to cut it out. You got to abruptly end it. You got to leave them wanting more. And when you forecast the ending, when you choreograph the ending of the video, you're not going to leave them wanting more. They're going to leave you. So y'all doing it wrong. Y'all are doing it wrong.
Related content, please don't forget to sub the channel. If you have any questions, by all means, leave them in the comments, as I do try to answer all the questions that come through on the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.
So another end screen tip we've been giving folks is to give them one thing to click. You invited them to subscribe, which I think once in a while, let's say this was like 1 in 10 videos you did that. That's totally cool. But then you had a suggested video here still. So you're kind of giving people 2 different choices. And if you want them to do one thing, put one thing there. Just here's the one thing I want you to do. This is, I would say not everyone does this and not everyone agrees with that advice. But for me personally, I found that we get better clicks on our end screens if we give people one choice.
Exactly. One call to action.
Yep.
So if you want people to ask questions, take that and move that into the middle of the video. So in the middle of your script, pop that in there somewhere and say, hey, listen, if you have any questions about this, make sure you drop those down in the comment section, and then just keep moving on with what you're talking about during the review. So don't give people multiple calls to action at the end of a video. One, because your audience retention graphs are going to show you that there's not that many people there anyway. So if you want that kind of stuff to work, you're going to have to do it in the beginning of the video. And the end of the video should only be one thing, pointing them at another video that makes sense to them as a viewer. The person who clicked on this guitar stand, what other video on your channel would be useful to them if they're shopping for gear? It's not going to be a tutorial on how to play certain chords. It's going to be what other gear are they looking for to outfit their studio, right? Yeah. So keep that in mind. But yeah, the one item strategy, don't give them a choice. Don't make them choose, because as soon as you make people choose, it's, yeah. So,
yeah. On YouTube, no choice is better than a choice when it comes to end screens. That's just our opinion. But I think it's also kind of strange. Not only are you linking to a different type of video altogether, but it's short as well. So you already have people in the long form section of your channel. Those long form views can get monetized and all that fun stuff. I know in February that's changing, but I think, yeah, like Jeff said, another gear related video in this spot something else that was cool that you reviewed should be in that spot. But you have to choose. Do you want subscribers in that video, or do you want people to stay on your channel and go watch the next thing? We think that if you have people stay on your channel and you don't ask them to subscribe, they're more likely to subscribe, because by the time they get done watching 2 or 3 of your videos, now they're like, I really like this channel. You know, if you can get that watch session to happen sooner, then, you know, if they subscribe, right, and then they don't come back for a week or 2, now they're starting all over next time they find you in their home feed, and they're clicking on your video and they're enjoying it. But what if you got them to watch 2 videos in one session? What if you got them to watch 3 videos in one session? I think that really ups your chances of getting them to actually become a committed fan. And even if they don't click subscribe, YouTube's going to see that, and they're going to go, yeah, this person really likes your videos because they watched 3 in a row. So we have a whole bunch of super chats we want to get to. So let's put this down for now. We have more channels we're going to look at in just a moment, but people have been very awesome today with their super chats, asking some questions. So let's take a look first at this one from LMW Vids. If you did a channel yesterday, would you do it again? Yes and no. I think if it came up during randoms, we wouldn't say no, because this is a different type of live stream. But I will say I did see some channels we've seen in recent weeks while I was pre-selecting today, and I did skip them over because I felt like we didn't really have a lot of new advice. Even looking at their videos, I felt like they still had to sit down and kind of do the work that we originally suggested. So when I'm pre-selecting, I don't know about you guys, when I'm pre-selecting, I will look for that kind of stuff, because I want to make sure we get a wide variety in the first half of the stream.
Yeah, I agree, man. We want to make sure, firstly, because you can get a lot of advice, right? You can get advice yesterday, get advice today. At the end of the day, you still got to put in the work, right? So at some point, you can get all the advice in the world day after day after day, but you need to put in that work. So if I'm seeing you submitting every week and you've already been reviewed, and I go back to your channel and you haven't done anything, not accusing this person, but that's something that has happened multiple times. So at a certain point, you gotta get in there and start, you know, taking a hard look at your content and start making those changes.
We had a few people that I saw just today who I know we reviewed very recently, and I had a feeling like they don't know we've reviewed them recently. So something you should know is that we've started putting chapters in these live streams. It's only happened in the last, I would say, handful of live streams now. But if you go back through our recent live streams, you can find chapters with the different channels that we selected. So if you can't make it for the whole live stream, come back later and double check and see if your channel made it. But ultimately, our philosophy is anyone here can learn from any channel, even if it's not yours.
Yep.
But thank you for the question. Can niche be my personality or myself? So is it enough that I'm an individual and I have my own personality? Can that be a whole niche in itself?
Yes and no. See, the thing about niches and content on YouTube is that, as I said earlier, when people click on your video, there has to be a reason why they click on the video. Now, when you're first starting golf, trying to go based off of personality alone is next to impossible, because nobody knows you and nobody cares about you when you're first starting. You have to work your way up to becoming somebody that people will go to just for their personality. So in the beginning, you need to offer some type of value, whether it be you entertaining somebody or teaching somebody or just making somebody feel comfortable or whatever. You got to earn that. Once you earn it, though, then it's got the limit. So regardless of how you want to attack this, when you're first starting golf, you have to be able to provide some type of value to a viewer. Otherwise, they're not going to stick with you.
Yep, totally agree. You got to use whatever it might be, a topic, a product, as the influencer to get them in the door. Then use your personality to hook them. That's going to be the thing. If you start out with, hey, this is just me, I'm sorry to put it very bluntly, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. I would say that like a channel I point to a lot as an example is called Let's Game It Out, and their personality makes the channel. You can go look it up. They tend to play a lot of similar games, and these are games that are like kind of life sim style games that the theme ultimately on this channel is games that can be broken very easily. Some of you may know this channel. And I only watch because of the host. If someone else was trying to mimic what they were doing, I don't know if I would like it as much, because they just have such a very unique way of speaking and approaching the games, and they choose very specific games, and they do really nutty experiments. I just really enjoy it. So in a way, yes, that's like a niche right there. Like that person has kind of cemented themselves, and it doesn't matter what they're playing. I know what I'm getting into. I know something's going to break, which was very, very exciting to me. On the other hand, it's how do you get there? You know, you have to pick something to do first. You have to start targeting an audience with your content. So you have to do the research and figure out, well, who do I want watching this content? I want people who not only like a certain type of game, but like when it gets broken and shattered to bits. And that's, I feel like, their approach. That's how they kind of built their channel. But nowadays they've grown to a point where it's like, doesn't matter. They're now the niche. They are like their own thing, but you have to, I think, earn that over time.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan said it perfectly. You have to earn it. You can't just come in with it unless, not saying that it's not possible, but for 99% of us regular folks, it's not going to be doable. And you have to earn it through grinding it out and making those videos. So excellent question though. Excellent question.
And Josh from,
go ahead.
I was going to say, just Josh from Let's Game It Out's been at it for years. You can go back years and see their journey. So just as a reminder, this is work. At the end of the day, as fun as this can be when it becomes your job, it's still work, and that never changes.
Here's a good one from Joe P. Cool 14. Just a quick thanks for the channel review last month. It was very useful, and I appreciate you guys. I'm excited for the new year. That's awesome, man. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Viper, you were going to say something a second ago?
Yeah, I was going to say that it kind of goes back to something I said a while ago on the socials, is that some of you all are out here trying to do things because you see your bigger favorite creators doing them. And I told you before, your bigger favorite creators can do that because they earned it. Like Dan said, they've been active for 5, 10, 15 years. So they've earned the right to do things a little differently. But when you're brand new on the platform and you're just starting out, you have not earned the right to do the things that the bigger creators are doing. So you can't do that. It's not going to work for you. But eventually, as you have more skin in the game and you do this for like maybe 1, 3, 5 years or whatever, then you'll be able to do some of the things that you see your bigger creator faves are doing because you will have earned that. But when you're first starting out, you haven't earned that and you have to earn it.
All right. And then we got one here. Nox Haunts is the YouTube Studio Analytics tab. In the YouTube Studio Analytics tab, why does it say I have 100 watch hours, but the monetization tab only says 50? None of my videos are private. I read this earlier when we were looking at a channel, and I was kind of thinking about this one. So it's one of two things. Either the hours you're looking at are including your shorts. So maybe you got 50 in shorts and 50 in long form. And right now, the hours from shorts do not count towards the hours towards monetization. If it's not shorts, then it's the very simple thing that monetization tab takes a little bit longer to update than your watch hours in your analytics. Every channel that I've gotten monetized was exactly the same, where I'm like, okay, cool, I have 200 watch hours, and I would go over to the monetization tab, and it was never the same. It was always about 2 days behind. So it's either one of those two things, but I wouldn't sweat it either way.
Yeah, totally agree.
Data is king. For a tutorial channel, do you think it's a good idea to show the end result as the hook to show the viewer what they can create, or will that give the information away too soon?
No, I personally believe that is a great idea because you have proof. You showed your work. You have proof that the thing that you were saying that can be done is done. In my eyes, that might
still know how to do it.
What's that?
They still know how to do it.
Yeah. In my eyes, that will make a viewer more endearing and more willing to engage with you because they know that, damn, you did that and you know what you're doing. So no, I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Yeah. I think it depends if somehow the finished result does spoil how to get to the finished result. I mean, then maybe I just can't imagine as a tutorial video what that would look like. If it was hard enough to where you had to make a tutorial to help somebody do it, then it should be safe enough to show the finished thing in front of them, because they probably have in their head what they want to make, right? And so they already kind of know what it's supposed to look like. So you're just verifying that. You're like, yeah, it looks like this, and we can make it right now. Would remixes be a good gateway, to long form content as promoting on your channel? Would remixes be a good gateway to long form content as far as promoting your channel?
I'm not sure I understand that quite.
It could be the YouTube remix feature on mobile.
YouTube has a remix feature. I think that's what they're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So if I click a video, any video, please, YouTube is fine. And I scroll, there's a remix button. So you can take another creator's video and you can either you take sound from it, or you can cut a segment from the video and make your own content with that. It could be in the sense that if you pick a video that's trending and you have a really good idea as to how you can use a remix, then it could be. But I wouldn't do it because the vidIQ guys said, "Oh, this is a great way to grow." Like it is if you use it right. But like it's like any tool on YouTube. You can do whatever you want. You can use it however you want. You still need to use it in a way that makes sense. Otherwise, it's not going to help. Do you guys have any extra thought? Like this is a feature I never even think about. I don't know if you guys have any extra thoughts.
Not really. I mean, to be honest, I guess it's always worth trying an experimentation. But for me, I'm just letting the content do the talking. To be completely honest, I'm not going to focus too much on trying to promote it myself in that sense, outside of like external promotion. But aside from that, I'm not doing much more than just letting the content speak for itself, because YouTube's own algorithm is the best promotion tool that we have at our disposal. So, making content that people actually want to watch and making it clickable with a good title and thumbnail is going to be the best promotion tool that you can have. Learning those skills are really going to be the way to do it. There's really no hack to this, to be very, very clear.
Yeah. And let's take one more before we go back to reviewing videos. And we'll get back to your super chats afterwards. 3 years ago, I started doing Call of Duty compilations. It went nowhere. So I pivoted to reaction videos and unlisted the old ones. Was that a bad idea? No.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah, and you might have lost some views. Like, let's say some of those old Call of Duty videos were doing well when you unlisted them, and you noticed your views have dipped since. That's okay, because the point is building a new audience. You have a new passion, you have a new direction for your channel, so you don't want to confuse anybody by having them come in from a Call of Duty video and see reaction videos afterwards and go, well, I don't want this. So yeah, I think you did the right thing.
Also, before we move on, let's highlight that he said he unlisted them, and that's what you want to do when you are thinking about pivoting your content. And you want to kind of get rid of the older content that it's not relevant anymore, do not delete anything off YouTube, okay? Let me repeat that for the people in the back. Do not delete anything. Just unlist it. Don't delete it. Because if you delete it, you lose those watch hours, you lose those views, you lose all that data. You lose it. And that's not a good look. So don't delete anything. Just unlist it and move on about your business.
There you go. Thank you for all of your super chats. Thanks for your questions. We will return to those in a little bit. And let's go back to looking at some channels. Let me know if it starts echoing on you guys again. We're going to be looking at another non-gaming channel. It's called Try to the Next Level, and they do triathlon education.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting one. Oh, I already have the channel picked. And they said, even after being published for months, is it worth the time to edit the thumbnail and titles of videos? Will they be recommended even after doing poorly?
Yes.
Yes. It's happened to us. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but yes, that can definitely happen.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at their latest video.
So it's the off season, and you determine that you want to improve your swim. Don't make these 3 mistakes that'll slow you down. Mistake number 1.
Okay, what's
Don't
going on here,
forget
Dan?
to analyze what went well in your.
It's totally
choppy.
freezing up on my end too.
Choppy.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird. It's not for me. Let me reshare again. If it's not one thing, it's the other, isn't it?
Yeah, you remember how it was getting super choppy before? It's kind of doing the same thing. It's loading the video, but it's like progressively getting slower and slower.
Well, the last time it happened, it was because of the browser, because I was having that problem too.
Yeah.
But if you guys are seeing it now, I'm not seeing it. That means that it's hopefully just the screen share.
So it's the off season.
Much better.
You determine that you want to improve your swim. Don't make these 3 mistakes that'll slow you down. Mistake number 1. Don't forget to analyze what went well in your training and what didn't go so well. Look back at your workouts, your training peaks, your Strava, your Garmin, and determine where you have room for improvement. Do you need to swim more yards? Do you need more speed work? How about more technical work?
So I'm going to stop it here. This is almost 30 seconds, and I'll kick this off by saying, I appreciate the effort that they're putting into their edit. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm seeing is like 1980s how to make a burger tutorial. You know, like you just started your new job at McDonald's, and their AV department is basically non-existent, and so they have these graphics that kind of come up in an awkward way. And you know, I think it's just it just needs to be brushed up. I think it needs to be modernized a little bit. I know it's a little bit harsh, but it's so distracting. I can't get over it.
So I don't really have much to add to it. I think they're doing a decent job. The intro was pretty good. I'm guessing that wherever you're filming, you must be using natural lighting, because I saw the lighting change when you went from one cut to another. I'm like, wait a minute, that only happens when the natural light changes. So I'm guessing you're using sunlight or something, because right there, it just changed. Like, I'm like, oh, what is that? So I'm guessing you're using natural lighting, which that's going to happen when you use natural lighting. You can't do nothing about that. But other than that, I don't know. The only other thing that I can say is that I mean, I know it's like a video about trying to teach things, and it's supposed to be like a teaching environment, but I'm just not feeling the oomph, the confidence from this man. I kind of feel like he's so reserved, and he's not really excited about what he's telling us about, and I'm just missing it. I'm missing an element of boom, man. I need some boom, bro.
Yeah, when doing listicles, I think one thing you should try to practice doing is not this. This is just going back to what I was saying about the way they're using like their cuts and their edits and things like that. And then the way they said mistake number 1, it's so robotic. You know, what if you just went into it and like, so you say the first part. Oops.
That'll slow you down.
That'll slow you down. And the first one is blah, 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 blah. And then let's not forget blah, 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 blah. So each, you know, you go through each mistake, but you don't label it so clearly. This is the first awkward thing that happened for me in the video. And it really pulled me out of it, because I was trying to listen to what you were saying. And then it was like this weird MTV countdown list without any of the pizzazz. Jeff, we haven't heard from you. We are currently in roast mode, and I do apologize. Maybe you can lighten the mood a little bit.
Well, yeah, no, but I agree. I think it's just a matter of kind of tightening up the intro on this content, right? So what I would want them to do is to sort of go back to the drawing board and spend much more time on the first 30 seconds, because what this is lacking is sort of a hook. You know what I mean? Something that's going to draw me in, let me know that I'm in the right place, and do it in a very concise way. I think that's really what's going to play up the strength here, because for me personally, now, to be fair, the athlete here is Viper, not me. I'm not an athlete, but I wouldn't have stuck around. Let's say that I was trying to train and trying to do something like this. I wouldn't have stuck around past 15, 20 seconds personally. So I think the pacing of that intro needs a bit of work. And going back and really spending much more time. Like for me personally, when I'm doing a script for a video, if it takes me 4 hours to write a script, this is a theoretical. If it takes me 4 hours to write a script, I'm going to spend 2.5 to 3 hours on the first 30 seconds. So just to make it clear, majority of the time I spend on a script is in the intro.
Yeah.
And that's how you should be doing it, because getting people to stay in the first place is key. If you have a good thumbnail and a good title, you're getting them in the door. Now you have to sell them on it. You have to sell them on sticking around to getting the info that you want to give them, or you're doing your videos a disservice.
Yeah. Speaking of just the first 30 seconds, and zooming out a little bit to the packaging of your videos, I'm noticing the title and the thumbnail, and I'll be honest, I like this title a lot. Don't make these off-season mistakes. And it's just a swimming. You could have maybe, I think, cranked it up 10% more. Like, don't make these off-season swimming mistakes or something like that. But I'll digress. I think it's a good title. The thumbnail is kind of a missed opportunity, because it's like a bunch of people with swim caps. It says it's over, now what? And I don't know what's over. I don't know what exactly you're talking about. I think the disconnect there is that the thumbnail is about, or I'm sorry, that's not what I'm trying to say. I think the problem with this is the thumbnail is just not, it doesn't look like anything when you're scrolling by. It's not connecting with the title. That took forever to get out. I think instead it should have been you sitting maybe next to a pool in like a fold out chair or something. You have the swim cap on, you're ready to go, but you're bored. You're just sitting there like, you know, and that to me says like it's the off season, you know, like then the text now what makes a little more sense to me, because the title is saying don't make these off season mistakes, and you're just sitting there like it's the off season, or you made a mistake and you're sad about it, whatever it might be. I think that's a better way to present this. But I think to somebody just scrolling by on YouTube, this looks like kind of just a blob of pixels, because there's so much going on. There's so many people and there's so many little green swim caps and red swim caps. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Already, in not very much time at all, we've given you a lot of things to consider about your content, but I think we all agree it needs a stronger hook. It needs to be like spruced up a little bit. And I'm personally saying I think the title and thumbnail, title's good. The thumbnail could be even better. And look, I mean, they have over 700 subscribers. This video got 164 views. View to sub ratio is looking pretty good for the amount of videos they've made. Doing excellent for 5 months on YouTube. This is really, really strong. So keep at it. It just needs that next step. In terms
Agreed.
of quality.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have another pre-selected channel here, and this is the last one before we get into the random selections. So if you've been submitting your channels on these forums, like so many people have, we're about to start randomly picking these. So get ready. This is Willow the Dane. They asked us to review their shorts, not their long videos. So that's exactly what I've pulled up here. And they are, let's see, they have any breakouts. They have an 11K short, POV, the toy is in the tunnel. They have almost 10,000 here for wait for it. So yeah, they've managed to get shorts in the thousands of views. Let's take a look at, I want to look at this puppy one because it's just drawing me in. It looks like it's just going to be music. Now she's all grown up. Puppy stage went by so fast. So I'll start and say the thumbnail that YouTube chose, or maybe you did using mobile. The thumbnail that was chosen made it look like I'm going to see an adorable puppy. But the first picture, I don't know about you guys, the dog is backlit and it's obstructing the adorableness, which is triggering for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to see adorable puppies.
Can we watch that again?
Yeah. So that was a bit blurry. This is the one I was talking about. And in every photo, it's so hard to see like the dog.
Yeah, they could definitely use a lighting upgrade for this short, because the lighting is not the best, like you said.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's going to be, I mean, lighting will definitely help for sure, but learning composition, right? Learning to not put a light source behind your subject, right? So that's a big thing. So if anything, all they need to do is be on the other side of the dog. Dog can be in the same spot, turn them around. You need to be on the other side. That way the light is hitting them and you're pointing the camera at them, because all that light coming into your lens is making it hard to see the subject, right? So this is why my lights aren't behind me. They're in front of me. So I just want that concept to kind of get in there. A little bit of that can go a long way at helping them make these look a little bit better for sure. So lighting can do a lot, but also that mentality behind it can also go a long way.
I think also for videos like this, I would love to see more video rather than just like image slideshow. If you had some older clips of you playing with the dog as a puppy, you wouldn't even need all the text. It could literally be the caption, "They grew up so fast." And that would be enough context for the viewer kind of scrolling by. And it's you playing with the puppy while the puppy's at its tiniest. And then you just keep including clips of the dog getting larger and larger and larger. And that's the whole short. And I think that's a fantastic short. But you kind of chose to do the slideshow route. And then the pictures you chose were really hard to see. So I am afraid that if you're noticing, if the short's been up for a bit and you're noticing it's not getting the views you want, this is probably what's happening. I think people aren't really sticking to it because they get to like the second photo and they can't really see what's going on. All of this stuff with shorts matters. It matters so much, because for the channel a lot of Tuesday streams, we go in and we talk about titles and thumbnails. In shorts, it stands on its own. A lot of people don't read the title. A lot of people don't see the thumbnails that are chosen, and they're just scrolling by on shorts and they find them. So it's really important that the production quality of shorts is just top notch. especially when compared to long form videos that at least have a little more forgiveness. If your title and your thumbnail are promising something and your hook is delivering on it, people are a little more forgiving if the audio is not super great, if the video quality could be better, because they're getting the information that they clicked for. But in shorts, they don't really get to choose a lot of the times to watch. So now it's all on the production quality, which is a lot. I think people take shorts for granted, but it's a lot. In fact, I think shorts can end up being more work than long form videos, depending on what your strengths and weaknesses are as a creator.
Indeed.
Let's watch one more. And we'll see what we get here. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to watch a popular one. It looks like these are all music.
Well, at least you got some video here, Dan.
Oh, yeah, the lighting in this one's much, much better. I get to see the dog, which is exciting. And very, very short. I mean, it loops very quickly. So not much to it, but this is all you had to do. We have good lighting, toys in the tunnel. The dog picks it up, begins walking away. That's everything. That's everything right there. If you wanted my advice on how to get even more people to watch, try to take these videos to the next level. It's cute, throw a toy in a tunnel, watch your dog go fetch it. Can you do any kind of, I notice you're at like a dog park here. Can you kind of have your dog do tricks on the little obstacle course in the distance? Because I'm seeing a trend here. These shorts are particularly short. One thing kind of happens. So dog pulls toy out of tree. It leaves me wanting more, but I think in an unsatisfying way. When we tell people, hey, your content should leave people wanting more, it should, but it's in such a way where I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not really going to get a whole lot here if I watch more videos, because it's always just one quick action. And that worked for a handful of your shorts. But I mean, with how many you've made, I would personally want to see way more around 10,000 plus views. And I think you can do that, but try telling a bit more of a story. Try doing more with your pets, and go watch some other pet channels that make shorts, because you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't know if you have anything to add there, Jeff.
No, I agree. And also, one thing that I'll notice is if you're doing that research, also don't look at, and I'm not accusing them of this, just to be clear, but don't look at what's the easiest video for me to make that has the most views. Don't have that mentality, right? Be willing to do the work that can get you better views, because your video is actually better than the other ones. So be willing to take that extra step to provide a more entertaining short or a more entertaining long view video. Is going to take you to that next level, because there's plenty of people, just like we've talked about barrier to entry so many times. If it's very easy to make, what's stopping 100 million people from making that short? How are you going to take it to the next level that's going to make it harder for somebody else to copy you, right? That's going to change up how many people can, or that's going to change up how many people can make this video, or who are willing to make this video, because it takes that extra 1, 2, or 3 steps. So just kind of think about it that way.
So we still have a whole bunch of super chats. Folks are asking all kinds of questions. We're going to get to those. But the questions that you're asking do remind me of something I wanted to just make you aware of real quick. vidIQ has a public Discord server, and we have all sorts of channels for all sorts of interests, depending on what you do on YouTube. This one's the thumbnail channel, where people are going back and forth, giving advice on how to improve some thumbnails. This is the achievements channel, where people are sharing their various achievements and accolades that they've managed to get on YouTube. It's vidiq.com/Discord. Link is down below. If you would like to join this community, these folks are not in there just to share their videos and walk away. Those types of posts get deleted. It's supposed to be focused conversation on YouTube related topics, and it is just that. The Discord's popping off right now.
Oh, and if you're one of those people that just goes around to different social medias and you just drop your videos and walk away, you're doing promotion completely wrong.
Yeah,
don't do that. If this is 2023, don't be that person. All right,
yeah.
This is your public service announcement. Don't be a link dropper. All right, so
it's the worst thing you can do, in the sense that even if your link stays up, it's probably for the wrong audience anyway.
Thank you.
You don't want those viewers. You want a very specific type of viewer to watch your videos. And most of the times where I find links that are dumped, it's never in those spaces.
Yeah, it happens all the time in our Facebook group, the vidIQ Facebook group. I just bounce them out of there. If that's what you do, if that's all you want to do, you're gone.
Yeah. So we'll get through a few of these before going to random selections. Hello,
Sure.
last night I uploaded my video. It was long, but I uploaded the wrong one without sound. Got 220 views. I am waiting for the average view duration. Should I remove it?
If it's the wrong video, I would just remove the video and re-upload the correct one. I mean,
It's the wrong video without sound. Maybe is that the problem? Like I uploaded a video, got 200 views, but didn't have sound, and you meant it to have sound. It's kind of hard to say, but yes, in that sense, if it's the wrong video, if people are confused, yeah, get rid of it. Try again. Nothing wrong with that.
and this is also why I recommend everyone, especially new creators, when you upload a video, you can select public, unlisted, private. Always set it as private, and you can actually go into your own channel settings and have upload defaults, and you can set private. I never upload a video directly as public. Never.
Right.
Because I always want to make sure that once it's uploaded, I can watch it and make sure that everything is good before it goes public. So this is just double checking your own work. So don't ever upload a video directly as public, because what if you messed up, you know? So that's one way to avoid this problem in the future.
We have, I think, a two-parter here. They've done 2 super chats to ask us this. So Deep, thank you. Let's see if we can help. I contacted YouTube support about a sudden drop in real-time views from 200 to 300 views per hour to 2 to 3 views per hour. They said it might have happened because YouTube is verifying the authenticity of the views, because my video got a lot of views in the first few hours of being published. What are our thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's I've seen that happen before. I've seen view numbers drop off like that before. So, and you know, that's how I've seen it. I've seen it happen that way. You'll see huge discrepancies in real-time views versus what your channel is showing publicly. So usually if I have a video go live, it'll show that it's got like 500 views publicly, but in real-time views, it's at like 1,500 or 2,000.
Right.
So, and eventually it catches up, but there is such a thing as view verification. That is not a new thing.
There you go. Our Kinney with super chat there. Thank you. Vivri. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
It's Digital. This is actually my friend Royce.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he's got an audio file channel based in Mexico in Spanish. And obviously what he's asking here is product reviews on YouTube Shorts. Does that make any sense? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Yes. Especially because I'm finding shorts pop up in search more and more. I think more people should be doing search-based shorts, and I was not saying that a year ago. I thought shorts based on search were a waste of time. I think back then they were. That's changed.
If you can review a product in under 60 seconds, then hell yeah, do that. I mean, a lot of people don't want to sit through a 8-12-minute video. So if you can do that in less than a minute, do that.
Yeah. I've practiced it a couple times, threw a few of them up on TikTok and a few of them up on Instagram Reels, and they've done super well. I just haven't put them on my channel as shorts, but at some point I think I'm going to see what they do there as well. But by all means, man, if you can do it in 60 seconds like Viper said, please do.
Mass appeal would help, I think, with the spreadability of the short. The more common the product, I think the farther it can spread. So if you're reviewing headphones, like everyone knows what those are. Usually people are just like looking for a nice new set of headphones because theirs are getting old. But if you're reviewing something really specific, I have this item here, for example, which is worth reviewing. This is a dock for my Steam Deck. It's not specifically branded for Steam Deck, but it has all these little ports on it, and I can plug it into my Steam Deck, and I get all kinds of extra ports. It's great for Steam Deck owners who don't want a Steam Deck dock. So the more specific your product, the less helpful the review, I think. For a mass appeal. It can still be found in search, though, so it might still be worth making to you. But I think, best odds of getting it recommended in shorts and in search is like a nice, juicy mass appeal kind of product. All right. LMW was just thanking us from earlier, so thank you for the super chat. Our Kinney is back and says, my shorts average 1,000 views after a few days of posting. My best performing short has 5,000 views. What can I expect in the near future?
It is nearly impossible to forecast how many views a short's going to get. The thing about shorts is that they don't really take off in views until they hit the short shelf. Mm-hmm. And even when they hit the short shelf, there's no way to tell how long they're going to be on the short shelf or if they'll even get any traction even being in the short shelf. So shorts are like playing a lottery, man. You win some, you lose some. So there's no way to like accurately track how many views a short gonna get ever.
Just keep making better and better shorts, though. You know, just keep trying to learn from the ones you've done, especially if they've done well. Like after a month or so, you look at the stats on them, they're doing really good. Like I should do more like that. It's like anything, but yeah, it's true. I mean, I've posted them and I've tried to double down on like something that's worked in shorts, and the first one does great, the second one does great, the third one takes forever to do anything, and then it suddenly does great, you know, like, and then sometimes it doesn't, and that's the frustrating part. And I always credit, I think, YouTube's shorts algorithm. It's still trying to learn. It's still taking in a lot of information. I think it's just an AI that's trying to learn as much as it can, because I've noticed it happening in recent months, less and less and less. I feel like my shorts are a little more reliable now, a little more consistent. But it's going to take time. Shorts be like that.
Agreed.
How often should you change your thumbnails?
Oh, so what do you think, Dan?
Never and often.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You shouldn't just arbitrarily change thumbnails, right? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the video is performing well, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't mess with it. So just leave it be. Don't say, well, it's getting so many views, maybe I should be able to get more. That's a good way to kill a video. So don't do it. But if you feel like the topic is strong, there's people actually looking for it, but something's holding it back, and then you go into your analytics and you notice that your click-through rate is well below your average. Let's say your average is like 5 to 8%, and it's got like a 1 to 2%. You know it's your thumbnail that's not doing you any favors. So that's when you would change it. But beyond that, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So only change it as needed.
Mm-hmm. We noticed, this was actually pointed out, and I think we picked it up as a video, if I remember right. We noticed like Mr. Beast had changed some thumbnails on some older videos that had their time, like they performed very well for their age, but they'd since kind of died down. So he updated the thumbnails because he felt that was important, and they were getting millions of views again. So it could be that you have a great thumbnail on a video because it's performing well now, and maybe you go back and update it after it's died down, after it's had its time to shine. But we often tell creators, like, don't need to necessarily do that, because you should be focused on the next video. Mr. Beast has the luxury of having a whole staff of people around him all the time, so he can just tell somebody, hey, go update some old thumbnails. But a lot of us creators don't have that luxury. We are solo creators. So I would prefer people to work on their next video over focusing on the old ones.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. Music or voiceover on building diorama channels. Depends on your goal.
Yeah, I would experiment with both. I mean, what do you think, Vipe?
Jeff, what is the diorama channel?
What I'm assuming is that they're doing dioramas like where they build sort of almost like a set or a scene. And mind you, I'm not a diorama expert, but this is what I'm like, a house with people in it, things like that. So you're sort of building this out. They used to make us do it back in the 80s and 90s in school for like historical stuff. Like I remember I had a history project where the diorama I made was of George Washington crossing the Delaware. So I made the boat in the river and like, the little figures and stuff. So I think that's what they're referring to. I'm putting it at a very elementary school level here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In that case, I'll say voiceover. Just to explain, if it is what Jeff is talking about, a voiceover will be better, so you can actually explain to the viewer what's going on and what you're doing. Music, I mean, you could do both, really. You could have music and a voiceover if you want to do that. But I think if you want to go either or, the voiceover would be better for this particular channel.
I think so too.
Yeah, maybe do shorts with a sped up version with music, just no voiceover. It's just it went from shoebox to diorama, and just a satisfying thing of watching it all come together. That could be a thing. That could be a whole strategy for you. Content ecosystem, I have my long form video. Now I'm going to repurpose it into a short. So, cool. So thank you for your questions. We have even more, but we don't want to forget that there's a whole bunch of random channels waiting in the wings here to be picked out at random by the CLAAAAAW. This claw. There it is. So we are here to randomly pick your channels. There are 2 forms linked down below. You can submit and you could be randomly picked. 523 responses on the non-gaming form, almost 500 responses on the gaming form. I've already updated the CLAAAAAW number-wise. I've also unmuted it. Let me try that again. And let's go ahead and pick out the first gaming channel, 485. 485. They are making long-form videos, Minecraft skin tutorials, and they didn't ask us any specific questions. So let's see what we have. All right, not a whole lot of videos. They started 2 years ago, kind of on and off. We'll take a look at your latest video and see what we can see. Hello. So it looks like it's going to be music and some text. I'm going to show you how to add construction. Oh, whoa. So let's watch that again. Today I'm going to show you how to add a I can't read it.
Nope.
That is the point where I click off the video. If you're looking for our brutal advice on how to improve as a creator, that is when I click off, because what you're doing is promising in the title and thumbnail something very clear, something people would probably want. Editing Minecraft skins is an art form. Like, it's difficult to do, you know, judging by just the software we're seeing. It's kind of like a Photoshop, but for 3D models, specifically Minecraft models. So this is going to take some time to learn. And the fact that you're not talking is already distracting, because I'm going to have to look at what you're saying at the bottom of the screen. Excuse me, but then try to follow your cursor wherever it's going to go to start putting this all together. So I'm not getting a lot of confidence. Drag it backwards 5 pixels and continue with the 2x3. But the 2x3 is finished when the text is saying drag it back. It's things are not moving in sync with each other. And this is all because you went the route of adding captions instead of talking people through it. And I think the video, while it is short, which is always good for a tutorial if possible, this is too distracting. It's too hard to watch. And like I said, I wouldn't have gotten this far. I would have clicked off and found someone else's video who's going to actually explain it to me in a nice, clear, concise way.
Okay. Okay, I hear myself again. What's going on here?
Oh, every time, man.
So I can count 2 times in my 40-year life where I've actually watched a movie with subtitles that wasn't in English, right? Because they were Kung Fu movies and there were Kung Fu going on. And I love me some Kung Fu. So even though those movies were not in English, I sat through the subtitles because I enjoyed that type of content. When you do this stuff on YouTube, when you just make your entire content captions and you're not talking, that adds extra work for the viewer. And I've said it once and I'll say it again, and I will keep saying it until I cannot say it anymore. If you make a viewer do extra work to consume your content, they won't do it. They're going to leave your content. You have to make it as easily digestible for a viewer as possible. You cannot make the viewer work. We are not opening up our YouTube app to do work. We work from 9 to 5, okay? So when we turn on, or we go log on YouTube at 6, we're not trying to work when we're logged into YouTube. We're not doing that, okay? So if you're making the viewer work, you're losing. You got to make it easier for the viewer. Don't make us work for it, because we're not doing that.
Yeah, and if there's an issue with speech or language that's holding you back from doing this via voice, then be very careful about your timing on those captions, because if you're not giving people enough time to read what it says and it's a how-to video, it can't be done that way. So I hope you accept the constructive criticism that we're giving you here, and really kind of think it over. Think about, so when you're doing the caption, read it out. And don't do it super fast either. Do it the way a normal person would read it, right? And then, okay, yeah, I didn't leave that on the screen long enough. And oh yeah, I didn't leave that on the screen long enough. So you have to edit it in a way that people can actually read it and make sense of it, so they can actually build the thing that you're showing them, or you're attempting to show them how to build. So I hope that helps.
So the other piece of advice for you, obviously, is make more content. You know, it's the thumbnails are actually really nice. I think very strong. I think you have some skills here that the Minecraft community would benefit from, given that your first video has 420 views from 2 years ago. Is this construction helmet one. You decided to come back to YouTube and redo that tutorial. You made it a little bit shorter. I think the thumbnail's cool. But, I mean, if you're going to be starting new starting fresh in 2023, it's time to you know, update this content a little bit more beyond just I'm going to double down by making a new updated version of this successful video. No, like not only that, like time to get a microphone, or you can pay someone on Fiverr to voice it over for you, or like Jeff said, you can time your captions out a little bit better, make them a little bit easier to read, put them in the middle of the screen when necessary, move them around, like, you know, you put them next to things that you're referencing if you have to use captions. There's a lot of different ways to approach this. All right. Next, Claw picked channel. Free range grass-fed Claw here is going to look for channel 519. And we will go to Rocket League channel. Now, wait a minute. This is the non-gaming forum. Did someone break the rules? Let's find out.
Dan about the road.
Someone broke the rules.
Nope.
Dan
Get him out of here.
Dan about the road, Joe.
How dare you break the rule? Wait a minute. How are we on number 9? I broke the rules. It was me all along. 513.
Oh, R.I.P.
It's me, I, and him. He's the problem in him.
Me,
So
I'm
you put the wrong number. Come on, Dan.
Look,
That coffee. We got to make that coffee stronger, Dan.
internet
Somebody
editing
call
is-
Taylor Swift. We got a problem out
internet
here,
editing is
Joe.
very hard. Okay, the
got a
Control
problem out
C, the Control V, the numbered pad. You know, sometimes my headphone cord is laying on the number pad, and that makes it harder to type. I have real struggles in life. Okay, guys. Anyway, Pet Connection International. This channel looks familiar. I think we've
Oh
covered this
yeah,
channel before.
we've audited them a couple times.
We've seen the channel, yeah.
So let's take a look at their videos. I don't know if we've looked into the videos themselves. I certainly don't remember doing that.
I don't think we've done that part.
All right, and they did. I think did they ask a question? I struggle to make educational videos more entertaining. All right.
Social animals. Gerbils are social animals and generally shouldn't live alone. But they can't just be put together straight away, as this will likely lead to fighting.
Ooh,
The
they're
safest way to
scrapping.
introduce gerbils is using something called the split cage or split tank method. And today I'm going to be helping you through the step-by-step process. There's also a written version of this guide available to download in the description. Before starting the split tank process, there's some important points that you should be aware of. The first thing to know is that success isn't guaranteed with
So this is well chaptered. I don't necessarily know, based on their question, they said they want to make their educational videos more entertaining. I don't know if it needs anything in particular. One thing I will say, I don't know if you guys agree with me here. I was a little bit put off by this sequence of events. So they had two, what I assume are new gerbils, they put together in a pen, knowing full well that a fight would break out. And I think the audience might catch on to that. And I don't know. I noticed it right away. I'm like, did you just want B-roll of them fighting? And I think animal lovers out there might be a little upset. I noticed it.
Maybe, Dan, but I think that's the whole point of the video. She literally said that you have to introduce them the right way, otherwise that's what happens. So I think that
Right.
was meant to be educational.
But I believe them. I'm here to do it the right way. I don't need to see how to do it the wrong way. So I would just, I want to caution them because even if we disagree on this, it's the fact of the matter is some people will feel the way I feel. Some people will feel the way someone else feels. So I just wanted to bring that up as a word of caution to you. Animal
fair.
channels, I've seen comments blow up on an animal channel where something innocuous happens. And even I'm like, well, okay, what happened? But the comment people are like, nope, you can't do that with a cat or whatever. So I wanted to bring it up. We are critiquing videos here, but yeah. We'll move on though to the next part of the video where they have chaptered it out in a very constructive way. And they're talking about quarantining. Is quarantine important? Why gerbils can't be put together straight away? What do you guys think? Just based on the chapters. Let me open this up. Does the video need to be this long? It feels very long. Like I'm seeing chapters that are coming up later about why they can't be put together straight away, but you kind of covered that in the hook of the whole video. So how much repeated information is in your content?
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Trimming down video, trimming the fat, right? Like that whole paper, that whole epilogue about what happens if they do have a fight. I don't know if you need that in there. That could be something that you verbally highlight and say There's a list of things that you need to look out for. I have it in the description if you want to take a look at it and click on it, do that. I'm not sure if that needs to be a part of the actual video. And then I'm wondering if some of these steps can be combined to be a single step instead of being their own individual step. So yeah, there are probably a few elements of this video that could be combined, or what's the word, consolidated. Yeah, to make for a shorter video.
Here's some additional context, by the way.
If I was a mistake I made during my first bonding, I just need to demonstrate a fight. Yeah, and so if that happened, I guess as a new viewer to the channel, I didn't know that bit of context. So having that in there somehow, some way would have helped me. Like, because I'm always looking at different B-roll shots you can use based on what you're saying, and that's how it was used. So I'm missing that context. So you want to make sure your viewers know that this is not something you set up, you know. And I think it's because, again, I've spent some time on animal channels. I've seen how sensitive the comments can get. Obviously, I noticed it right away. So, you know, I do think that a bit of context would help.
I agree. Just because you know it as the creator, don't assume that everybody else is going to also know that. So I agree. Just a bit of clarity on that. But yeah, I agree in that sense.
Yeah, I appreciate the clarity. But yeah, just as a tip for the next one. And yeah, I would look for repeated information. We didn't get this far in the video, so maybe these step 2, 3, 4 make sense. But some of the chapters are, oh, I see. Split tank process, step 1, 2, 3. I see. Okay.
So it looks like there's multiple processes, because I see there's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then all of a sudden we get to step 2, 3, 4. Wait, it's like, so I guess we're seeing different types of processes here, because it's very confusing that there's a 2 and then there's another step 2. So that's why I'm just kind of like, what is going on here? But that's probably what's going on. Makes me wonder if there's different processes that might have been a separate video, as opposed to having this all in one. Like, here's this process, boom, there's video. Here's this other process, boom, that's a separate video. Not saying you can't have this all in one video, totally can, but it might be worth idea redoing these as separate videos if they are separate methods. And that'll give you a second chance to provide more clarity to the viewer, and you know, be more helpful if at all possible.
Yeah, there is that concern, is what if there's like 2 or 3 videos in here. A 20-minute tutorial on something is not a bad thing. It's just when I see this many chapters, and I appreciate the work that goes into these, but yeah, I start to ask questions about repeated information and then information that, like you said, could be in a whole new video.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's skip ahead a little bit. I'm looking for opportunities to maybe add entertainment value, because that's important to them. So let's just kind of look in here.
When getting a new gerbil to bond with your current gerbil, it can be a good idea to look for another gerbil of a similar age. This is so that they have a similar match of energies. If an old gerbil wants to sleep more, they won't appreciate being climbed all over by an energetic pup, for example. But if you're getting a pair of young pups, then the 2 young ones can keep each other occupied while the older one rests. In my
one opportunity, and this is just because of the kind of comedy that I like, they said, if you have an older gerbil that likes to sleep more and there's a new younger gerbil in the mix, they might not appreciate being climbed all over. That could be an opportunity to do something funny, like add a little more to your writing, like stock footage of a kid bothering their parent or something like that, you know, just to continue lightening the mood. Because I did notice that comment. It stuck out to me, like, and it makes sense too. An older pet that's trying to sleep probably doesn't want to be pestered during nap time. So try to find moments like that when you're writing your script and stuff, and play them up a little bit. It sounds like you are doing some script writing, which is great, because that means you have time to sit down and like figure out those funny bits that you can put in your video. And one strategy I have for you, as someone who's tried to kind of add some humor to my videos, is try to break up the times in which you're doing it. So day 1 is like your first draft of your script. Maybe day 2 is when you go in and like you brush it up. And then day 3 is when you try and add the comedy bits to it. And I'm just imagining a 3-day process. It's whatever process you use that works for you. I like to write a script and walk away from it for a whole day, and then come back to it the next day to read it again and make sure that it still makes sense, make sure that it can't be edited in some way. But I'm the kind of creative that I need to kind of break away from my content a little bit while I'm making it, just to like keep a clear head. So however that works for you, but take a step back after the script is done and then go in and try and add some, fun stuff.
Yeah, totally agree, man.
Cool. So I think there was, a lot of good conversation here, and it's cool to see this channel. We've definitely seen it in the past, and you're getting hundreds of views, in some cases thousands of views. Just as a channel audit hat real quick, be sure to look at more topics like this and see what ways you could double down on them. And I know there's a lot in the split tank thing about the enclosures and stuff like that, but this very clearly says like enclosure reviews. So, could you review more enclosures? Could that be like a direction you go with your channel where you're taking a look at even more stuff like that? I don't know. There's opportunities here.
For sure.
Struggling to tame your gerbils? Try this. Yeah. So best of luck. This is awesome. We will go to the next gaming channel. Where are we at with the forum numbers here? 530 on the gaming forum. So we'll update this. Oops. All right. 106. Look at that. Sorry. I'm on the wrong place. You could tell it's that time of the day for me, Jeff. It's so even Viper had to go. It's so late. Now I don't remember the number. Was it 103 or 106? 106. 106. All right, they're doing Let's Plays. It's a gaming channel. They're called Pedigreedmoth, and they said feedback on thumbnails and titles increase the retention at the beginning of the video. You have a steep fall off. All right, so we're going to take a look at your thumbnails, your titles, and your intros. So the whole thing, everything that gets people in and gets them to stay. So Subnautica is the game you're playing. Pretty good game.
I'm not familiar.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a survival game, and you're under the ocean, so you can like build bases and have a submarine and swim around, and it's really cool. It's been around for a long time, and I think it's a pretty dedicated fan base.
Cool.
Oh, I see something. Oh. All right, so this is the last engine fragment we need. That was a good sleep. Now, some of you who have seen the previous episodes might be noticing that something.
So we're 30 seconds in. I'm already noticing some things that could use some improvements, and I think it's just going to be brushing up the editing skills a little bit. This is the first critique I have. There were some very weird cuts after we got out of the coming soon screen where you almost cut yourself off as you were speaking, like this.
That was a good sleep. Now,
The word pee and sleep was cut off. That was a good sleep. Like just little things like that I'm noticing.
some of you who have seen the previous.
Some of you, but the word you is cut off. It's just kind of an awkward way to cut a video together, and I think stuff like that as a viewer is just a little bit distracting. That's a small critique. I think the biggest thing that's going to help with the steep drop off that you mentioned in your question is going to be the lack of excitement in your cold open. It says coming up, and I get that it's kind of a tense moment, but not enough has been done in the edit to identify intensity, meaning you could have added some music, you could have added some different kind of zoom effects, and ultimately, this should have been much, much shorter. Obviously, you see something, you're kind of staring very intently at the screen, there's something that's drawing your eye, but we don't see it until like way later in the sequence. Like right here, about 13 seconds in, we see the first glance of the sea monster.
Yeah.
That took a long time.
Yep, I agree. You know, in the cold open, we're also seeing two different things. Like he shows us two different items. Pick one. Right? I would have picked whichever one was more exciting, thrown that in, and then got straight into it. And then secondarily, when Dan was talking about the weird edit on the words, this is a comment that beat me to it, which was from Lillian in Space here in the chat. Says, don't be afraid to have natural pauses. Yes. Don't be afraid of that because it sounds human. People have natural breaks in their speech. So that was something that I had to learn. There's such a thing as over editing. And that happens. So once you get better at it, editing using your waveforms in your videos, like where your voice ends, but also not just where it ends, but give it a little bit of breathing room. So that, and same thing where you're going to pick up, before the next time you start speaking, give it a little bit of breathing room, and it sounds much more natural when you're going from one sentence and starting the next. So, but yeah, I would, for the cold open, I would have chosen one, whichever one was more exciting, and stuck with that. Because this first one, it took too long to get to what he was freaking out about, for me personally. And I think, Dan, you felt the same way.
Yeah, I did. And this is the one I would have gone with. So this is the second sequence of events in the coming up screen. And you obviously get surprised here.
All right, so this is the last engine fragment we need.
And I think that's all you needed.
Literally.
That was the whole cold open right there, and I think that would have been enough to get people excited about the video. You wrote coming up, so we kind of know what this is that we're watching right now. And then other editing tips I have for you is you are using a face cam, which is fantastic for you because that means you have another element to edit with when you're doing gaming videos. Any channel that doesn't use a face cam while they're gaming has missed out on this opportunity. You can still totally do faceless gaming channels, but when you put your face on it, you have a really cool opportunity. So if you watch a lot of creators today who are really popular in the gaming space, what you'll notice that they do is just like you reacted right here to getting startled by this creature. What they'll do is they'll take their face cam and they will enlarge it. So you can see their reaction. You can kind of feel the intensity of just how scared they are of like the thing that's happening right now. And they'll cut between gameplay and them on the screen large throughout the entire video. They're doing that. That is going to be extra editing for you. It's gonna increase your workload. However, it's really important in terms of production quality. You're talking about getting people not to click off. I think that adds energy to your video. Even if you're using a limited amount of sound effects, you're not using a lot of music, it doesn't seem like you are. At the very least, having cuts that add to the pacing of the video and add to that energy, I think that's really, really necessary here. And it allows you to take, in terms of your gameplay, one long sequence of events and not break it up, like, oh, I'm in, like in games like this, when you're crafting items and stuff, you end up stuck on one screen for a really long time. So if you're commentating through that, as you should be, it's good to like zoom in on your face and zoom out on your face and do it in different, go a medium shot, then a wide shot, like keep playing with it. Because that's going to help keep people's attention. It's just kind of goes back to that, what we were talking about earlier with short attention spans and stuff like that. Gaming creators who use face cams just have all those tools at their disposal. You basically have built-in B-roll in a genre that's really hard to add B-roll to, because if you start adding stock footage and stuff to video game footage, it looks a little bit weird if you don't do it right. People are like, whoa, they're playing a video game and suddenly they cut to like, business bros standing around a conference table. If you don't do that the right way, it's going to look strange. But if you're just using your face cam as the B-roll, I think that's a really good way to add that energy to the video. It's missing that. Your video is definitely missing some extra energy.
Yeah, totally agree. If they're not excited, it doesn't get me excited about it. And I don't mean being like super overly fake excited, but when you're on camera, you got to be at 110%. You really do. And sometimes you can't do that, and that's completely fair. Sometimes I can't do it. Sometimes I can't turn it on, and I'm not willing to do it, and I just won't stream. So, and that's just how it is. But when you're on, whether it's recorded videos or live streams, you do have to turn it up a bit. You have to turn yourself up a little bit. And don't think of over-exaggerated or fake. Think I'm amplifying myself.
Yeah. And then the last piece, because you asked about titles and thumbnails, here's the thing. You told us that you have people clicking on your videos, but they're dropping off. And I know they're clicking because this has 854 views. It was uploaded a week ago. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is a really strong thumbnail. You've taken, I don't even know what this gray nonsense is in the foreground. ignoring that, you don't need whatever that thing is. I'm talking about the red circle with the SOS in the middle and an arrow pointing down on the beach. This thumbnail says that you got stranded doing something, and the title says that too, time for rescue. So great job taking the thumbnail and the title and having them, coexist. I would not have put this weird piece of machinery in the thumbnail. It didn't need it. I think the scale of the island is very impressive, and then your SOS on there is kind of funny. And then when we clicked on the video, we did not get the vibes that you were going to be stranded. And that, I think, is also contributing to that drop-off you're experiencing. You have not validated the click, and we talked about this earlier. You haven't validated the click of somebody coming into your videos. And just as a side note for everyone watching, you're kind of standing by, you're waiting for us to maybe pick your channel next. Notice that I'm giving this channel advice that I gave a channel earlier, and that's because some of this stuff, if you can look at your channel with that objective lens, that self-awareness, you can take the advice we give one channel and apply it to your own. So I'm going to say that bit of advice again. Is your click, let me get rid of the channel here. I'm not talking about that channel anymore. Is your click paying off when people go to your videos? This is the biggest thing. This is, if you're making great thumbnails and great titles, if you truly believe that your titles and your thumbnails are just awesome, are they paying off when people do click on the video, or are you noticing a massive drop in your content? That's why these video reviews are so fun, because they apply to so many different types of channels. But there we go. I think we've given Pedigreedmoth a lot to think about there.
Yep.
Best of luck. We'll move on to some super chats and then some more channels, because we have a lot. People are asking questions, Jeff. We got to give them answers. You guys talk about niches a lot, but on that topic, do you think channels should post shorts, lives, and long form videos to take advantage of all three audiences, or just stick to one and try to crush it? Yes and yes.
Yeah. Yeah, completely. Yeah, so here's the thing. There's no reason why you can't have a content ecosystem on your channel, especially with the way that YouTube is now organized. Our channels to have videos in one place, live streams in one place, shorts in another place. You can have them on your homepage as well. There's no reason why you can't do this. Live streams can suggest regular videos. Shorts can lead to people watching your long form videos. So they all tie into each other. So there's no reason why you can't do this.
Yeah. Now we'll look at Pedigreedmoth again. They are using shorts. So these are obviously clips from their long form videos. They've repurposed them into shorts. And now people who watch these shorts, if they're interested in the long form videos, it's very clear to them that they're making all three different channels on their channel are being catered to the same type of viewer. It's a type of viewer who likes Subnautica survival videos. They're not doing walking their dog vlogs in shorts and Subnautica live streams during live streams and tutorials about how to set up dominoes in their video section. So it's one channel with three channels in mixed in there. You can use video, shorts, and live, but they should all keep the same viewer in mind. So you have the best chance of someone watching one of your shorts and converting to a long form viewer or a live stream viewer. But there's another part to this question, really, Jeff, and that's, should they stick to one and try and crush it? It's obvious that more videos is more work. If you're going to do shorts and live streams and long form videos, that's a lot of work, even if it's the same kind of content, even if you're repurposing content. So if you find it overwhelming, then you should absolutely stick to just one. You should try and get really good at just one, because the last thing you want to do as a creator is listen to us and go, gosh, I'm never going to grow on YouTube if I don't take advantage of every single thing vidIQ says or every single thing someone else says on this topic of YouTube growth. We, like I said earlier, we are min-maxers. We go in there and we try and help people grow. We throw 100 different things at them, but realistically, we just hope that people take on one or two bits of advice, because we believe that even if they just listen to half of what we said or a fraction of what we said, and they take that to heart and they apply that to their content, they will be in a better place than they are now. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do everything all at once. You can build this stuff slowly over time. And that's just a blanket statement for any of these live streams, any videos you see. If you ever feel overwhelmed by the advice people are giving you, just know you don't have to do it all at once. If you hate making shorts, you don't ever have to use shorts. We're going to keep telling you should. I'm saying this now, but I'm going to make a video here soon where I'm going to be like, it is irresponsible not to do shorts in 2023. Both things can be true for an individual creator who only has so much time in a day, who only has so much interests in so many different types of content formats. So there you go. I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, I mean it's super, super helpful information. So yeah, even just taking a 1% and trying to make your stuff better, you're going to be in a better place. Getting a short shelf on the channel. I'm assuming by short shelf they mean to get shorts to show up on your homepage. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. If I remember correctly, it's when you go into customize your channel. Yep. You can add that. It's almost like when you add playlists. So you go into customize channel, and that's where you make those adjustments. I don't think we're going to do a full tutorial here, but I think Dan will show you kind of where to take a look at where you can add that. And it's where you add section.
Yeah. So it's customize. And then this add section lets you drop down to all kinds of fun things.
Short videos.
We have short videos on. I thought we used to. Single playlist. Oh. Nope, that's just uploads. Well, maybe we should consider doing it for ourselves.
Yeah, but that's where you go. Add section.
Yeah, short. You literally click short videos, and now it's going to be a playlist of your shorts, and you can put this on any line that you want to put it on, wherever you feel like it makes sense for you. We are doing shorts now, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. And when Rob gets back, if he gets mad at me, he can remove it himself.
Tell him I authorized it.
Yeah, okay. Jeff said it was okay. What do you consider new? Is 3,000 new if I started in 2020? Would I be safe to start streaming any new games, or would that hurt my Fortnite channel? Okay, new. When you asked that question, I thought you meant what do I consider a new YouTuber? Because you asked if I started in 2020. So are you talking about new games or new YouTuber? Would I be safe to start streaming any new games, or would that hurt my Fortnite channel? What games do you want to stream?
Yeah. I think it depends on the game, and I think that's the answer we can give them, right, Dan? Because if it's a game that's completely left field from Fortnite, then you might have a problem. So you have to think about what kind of games are similar to Fortnite that the audience that came to you to watch Fortnite would also be interested in. Right. You know, I would think maybe Call of Duty, maybe PUBG, maybe something similar. Right? Hopefully something more popular than the titles that I just mentioned, but something similar enough, right? Where you're running around, shooting stuff like that. Something along those lines. Because if you went into, like, say, Pokemon, or if you went into, say, Minecraft, or if you went into Need for Speed, those are very, very different genres. Still gaming, but very different, and a very different viewer. So if you're going to play a different game, I would suggest trying to stick with at least within the same genre of game if you're going to do it. Otherwise, I'd be starting a different channel, to be completely honest.
You should watch the gaming video that I made put it out on Monday. It's about how to start a gaming channel. I know it's called How to Start a Gaming Channel, but it's for anyone who feels like they need to learn a little bit more and grow. And I said this in that video. I'll say it again, but I go even deeper in the video. You should focus on one audience, as Jeff said. If you're going to pivot into something else, if you're tired of Fortnite, if you're ready to play something else and you have an idea in mind, you've done the research, you feel like you'll get enough of your Fortnite viewers to move over with you, commit to the pivot. Whatever you do, commit to the pivot. Expect to lose some viewers who don't care about anything but Fortnite, and they're out there, and commit to the pivot, because the idea is you're doing something new that you're more passionate about, and that passion is going to shine through. You're going to have more video ideas. You're going to make more content. You're going to attract more people to your channel. So for all the viewers you lose, you're going to gain a whole bunch of new ones because you committed to that pivot. But if you make 3 videos and you feel like, I got more videos playing Fortnite, obviously this was a mistake, and you just go back to making Fortnite videos that you hate making, in this imagined example, you hate making it, you didn't commit to the pivot. You didn't give it time. It's going to be like starting a new channel. You asked what makes a channel new? A channel is new when they decide they're starting something new. A channel could be 10 years old. I have a 10-year-old channel I've abandoned. If I ever decide to pick it up again, I will treat it as if it's a brand new channel, despite it having X many subscribers, despite it having a bunch of videos that are still getting views today. I'm going to pretend it's a new channel, a fresh start for whatever journey I decide to go on.
Yep, totally agree.
I've been watching. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, man. I was going to give you a break. I've been watching vidIQ for years. You guys have given me a lot of help. I will probably hit 1 million subs in March.
Wow.
Congratulations, man. World according to Briggs. Awesome. Glad
You know
to
what's
hear that.
funny? I watch this channel, and it was recommended to me by a family member. That's how I learned about this channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I know people who enjoy World According to Briggs. You're doing great work.
Nice.
So thank you.
Thoughts on how you build an engaged community.
Yes.
I can give you a few of my thoughts. We'll let Dan talk about it too. For me, what's really helped, one, I ask very specific questions in my comment section or in my videos that lead to engagement in the comment section. So I'll ask very specific questions in my videos, whatever it might be, what kind of music you listen to, whatever it might be, right? And then when they leave those comments, when they answer my questions, I go in and I respond to every single one. And I don't respond with, hey, thanks for watching. I respond with nice, or I'll respond with another question. And I'll keep that going, right? So that's where it started. And then when I started doing live streaming, that's when I really started to solidify my hardcore core engaged community. That's another way that you can help. And you can also create your own Discord as well if you want to bring them in there. But those have been the best ways that have helped me create a highly engaged core community. It's not going to be all of your subs. It's going to be a small subset of them. But those are the ones who really will roll with you and will watch every single video.
Make it about them. That's my advice. Every single thing you do, make it about them. If you have the community tab, it's tempting to like ask, hey, what video should I make next? Or something like that. Make it about them. You make videos about a certain topic. So now in your community tab, ask questions about that topic from their perspective. What's your favorite part of this thing that we all love? You know, and that is how you get that engagement. You said a highly engaged community. That's how you do it. Let people express themselves. Let people talk about themselves. As a YouTuber, it's very easy to constantly update everybody on what you're doing and what you're interested in. But if you want that, if you want them to return the favor, ask them what they're doing. Ask them what they're interested in. And you can use Discord and community tab and things like that to build that engagement.
And I just want to throw this out there too, because we have a lot of super chats and more of them are coming in. We are running very low on time. So if at this point, if you leave another super chat, odds are it's not going to get read. It's just going to be a donation. Just letting you know.
Yes. We appreciate it. And we're very sorry. These streams do have a limit. We'll try to get through these as quick as we can.
Sure.
I know we're reveling in some of them. I'm a real estate investor and started my channel wholesaling. Should I implement the fact that I'm a musician, play basketball, and do outdoor stuff? Yeah, it doesn't sound like the same audience to me.
Not at all. Not even close. So even though you are interested in all that stuff, you have to think about this from the perspective of a viewer. And this is why we always tell people focus on who the viewer is, right? If you're making videos about real estate or real estate investment, think about them. Are they going to care that you play basketball? No. Are they going to care that you outdoor stuff? No. Do they care you're a musician? No. They're going to care that they're there for the real estate videos. So if you want to talk about or make videos about those other things, those belong on different channels. All three of those things are completely different channels from real estate investment. That's 4 channels that you're talking about there. So just something to keep in mind, but always focus on the viewer.
Imagine though, like you're a real estate investor, right? Imagine checking out a property that has a basketball hoop on the property. Like that's like an opportunity for you to show that side of yourself without making the whole video about that. Like, you know, so think about ways you can inject your personality into your content that's subtle, while still making the content focused on that viewer that you're targeting with your content.
Correct. Yep.
Daniel Game Studios was just thanking us earlier for some advice. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Best of luck. What's a good place to get music and art for a channel? Oh wait, no. What's the place to get music made for an art channel? I think they're asking.
Oh, music made for it.
Yes, you want music made specifically for your channel. Networking it's gonna be one way. Just figuring out who makes music and if they're willing to do jobs like that. You could check websites like Fiverr and Upwork, try to hire musicians.
That'd be the first place I would start.
If you are just looking for music and it doesn't have to be specifically made for you or misunderstanding something, we have a link down below for Epidemic Sound. We have a deal with them, so you can save a little bit of money on an Epidemic Sound subscription. So do check out our link down below. Epidemic Sound has a bunch of amazing music that can be used on YouTube without any problems whatsoever of all different kinds, all different genres. So do check that out. I want to do edited walkthroughs. Is that possible? Yes.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't do that.
You
I
should
mean,
edit your walkthroughs. Please
yeah,
edit your
you should
walkthroughs.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to do it like uncut, but there's also a lot of dead space in certain games where you have to like travel somewhere.
Right.
You don't have to show yourself 5 minutes traveling somewhere. Like when I'm playing something like, well, I've seen walkthroughs when I've seen watch walkthroughs for stuff like Assassin's Creed. There's whole sections of time where you have to physically travel from one point of the map to the other, and these maps are massive. You can edit that stuff out. So there, as long as it's things that are crucial points, definitely make sure you include those. Or even if you're going to skip something, say, hey, I'm going to skip the travel section, but you just need to go from point A to point here, and we'll pick up at point here. Because pretty sure you can navigate yourself there. I shouldn't have to walk you every single step of the way. So, but just a thought, you can definitely edit them down.
Yeah. I haven't made significant changes in my channel/content within the last month now, suddenly getting a spike in impressions across the board. Why? I've seen this happen, and usually in the cases I've seen it happen, it's because the thing that you did in the old videos is suddenly relevant again for some reason that's usually beyond your control. I've seen it in games, for example, that get an update. And so, or you'll see it in the holidays a lot. So if you cover games and somebody gets that game for Christmas, but it's been out for a couple of years, you might find that your old tutorial videos are suddenly getting traction because it just turns out people are still getting this game over the holidays. So that's the cases where I've seen that, but it could be any number of reasons.
Agreed. Yeah, and I've seen it happen to me personally when on an older video, I've had a huge spike in views because of suggested algorithm. So basically a channel at the time, the one that really sticks out for me, a channel that had 1.6 million subscribers. At the time I had about 20,000. And the video that I had put out had maybe like 10,000 views on it. But the channel with 1.6 million did a video on it. And YouTube, because I had one of the other few videos on it, YouTube pulled mine into the up next. Do you remember when we had the up next? Yeah. So pulled mine into that suggested, and then his video was getting, hundreds of thousands of views. All of a sudden, I started getting thousands of views a day on this video. And I was like, what just happened? I released this video 6 months ago. And then when I went to traffic sources, and I think it was Travis actually at the time that had helped me figure out what was going on, we figured out it was coming from suggested. And then we nailed down which video it was, and it was coming from this other channel, this other channel that was basically driving traffic to my channel. So it can come from multiple sources, but that was what happened in my case.
Yeah. So yeah, any number of things. Thank you for your question. Long form video views are at 226 and watch hours are at 9 if I delete it. So this was earlier. We got a question about if they uploaded a video by mistake, it has no sound. Can they delete the video basically and re-upload it? And they're asking if people will come back and watch. My advice to you is if you're worried about losing views, that definitely could happen. Be prepared for that.
Yep.
However, think about changing the title and the thumbnail a little bit so it doesn't look like something they've already seen, because they really haven't already seen it because it was uploaded in error. So what they're getting is the actual experience you wanted. So making some tweaks to the title and thumbnail could help get those viewers back who already feel like they watched this already.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I wouldn't dwell on this. It still could go wrong for you, and try it, but move on. Get ready to make your next video. Learn from the mistake. Move on. You do not want to dwell on something like this on YouTube. It moves way too fast. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for making these videos. My dog is in jail. Sorry to hear that in Saying Gull, but thank you for the super chat.
Sorry to hear that.
Have you noticed any drops in shorts views in the last week? I went from 1 to 4K views a short, 1 to 12 overnight without changing my format. No. Shorts can be a little bit tricky like that. I haven't noticed anything on my end. In fact, on another channel I have, I'm testing some different stuff on like a more dead channel, and I'm noticing it's getting more views because I'm trying something new. So I don't think it's anything that's happening across the board. It might just be shorts being shorts, which is, I'm sorry, it's not very helpful.
No, but it's true though. And here's the thing. So I'm keeping track of a lot of different channels, and out of all of them that are doing a lot of shorts or even shorts primarily, only one has seen what you're talking about. The rest of them are still doing well. So it could be an inventory thing. It could be that the shorts you're uploading are pretty much the same or very similar to what a lot of other people are doing, and it just hasn't had a chance to get shown out yet. So just something to keep in mind, because the shorts algorithm has changed multiple times since shorts have come out, and it could be the new normal. Who knows? But this is something that I've only seen it with one channel out of like 12 that I'm keeping track of. And I don't think this is the norm. I don't think this is an across the board thing. So if anything, I would also consider if you haven't changed anything or changed format, could it be because you haven't changed? Could it be because the audience is tired of seeing the same format?
Yeah.
So
Could be. My channel is a family vlog, so my shorts and long form videos explore different activities. How can I target family vlog viewers with a confused algorithm? I would say it's only confused if the different activities are just wildly different. I mean, keep in mind, when you say you're a family vlog channel, it sounds like what you're saying is, well, my niche is my family. But you got to think about what works for a family vlog channel, and you want to try and do similar things on your channel. You know, if you feel secure in making videos that are vastly different from one another simply because, well, it's the same family doing it, that's not enough to like target a specific viewer. You know, I think if you were to carefully study some of the big family vlog channels that you find out there, you'll notice that there's a theme about them that kind of is cohesive. You know, even though it looks like they're doing a lot of different stuff, it doesn't necessarily that's just on the surface. When you dig deeper, you realize like, yes, I would come back and watch every single one of these videos because blank. Try to fill in that blank for yourself.
Yeah, agreed.
But I don't think the algorithm is necessarily confused. I think with the wording of that question, I just want to make it clear. I think if you're using the word algorithm and you're saying I think the algorithm is confused, or just replace the word algorithm with viewers. Because if you feel like the computer AI, which specializes, it does nothing day in and day out but try and recommend the right videos to the right viewers. If you think that thing's confused, imagine how the people getting the recommendations feel. Because that's really all it is. All the algorithm is a recommendation system to get people the content in front of their faces that it thinks they want to watch. So that's how that works.
Yep. Last one here, the Retro Bro. My shorts shoot to 1K views in 1 hour, then plateau. That is completely normal. That is the normal shorts and how they work. We see this for so many channels, and not just for 1K. Like some of them will be 500, some will be 5,000. I've seen people that are getting 25, 26, 27,000, and then boom. Yeah. So this is completely normal. The way that YouTube is testing shorts, it's just the way that it is now. So yeah, but that's it for the super chats, man.
That's it for everything.
Yep.
I'm out of here. Thank you all for an excellent week. First week of 2023. Best of luck with your channels. We'll see you next week, Tuesday with channel reviews, Wednesday with video reviews, and we'll have a new video out for you tomorrow or the next day. So look out for that as well. All right, everybody. Have a good one.